What is your favourite colour? Blue. Right, off you go.
One man, one word. Change. This looks more like the same. This is not just one man at the top.
But
you're talking about an aristocracy within the party.
I am really confused by what you're saying. I know you're confused by our questions, but I am confused about what you're telling us.
Got confused.
Keir Starmer's had some pretty bad weeks in Parliament, but this week may well be his worst, as well as one of his last.
Oh, God!
During Barry Gardener's appearance on Newsnight yesterday, we saw one of the most open criticisms of the Prime Minister from within his own party that we've seen in the last 18 months that Labour have been in office. The scandal surrounding Peter Mandelson has left the PM in a completely indefensible position after he revealed in PMQs yesterday that even though it was known that the former ambassador kept a close friendship with the late pederast Jeffrey Epstein, even after the latter was convicted, they still put him into arguably the most important diplomatic role within government. Let's see what's happening.
Look, this was our manifesto, right? One man, one word. Change. Yeah. That's what we promised. That was the whole of what we as the Labour Party promised this country. Change. This looks more like the same.
Should he step down?
I think that he needs to think very hard about what is in the country's best interest and what is in his party's best interest.
It's a veiled yes. You're saying that you don't want to say it, but you're saying it with your eyes.
Keir Starmer, as a project, came about from somebody who had been the protege of Mandelson and who is now the Chief of Staff in 10 Downing Street. There's connectivity, and to use your historical analogy, the guy at the top is not the only thing here. There are barons, and when the barons begin to feel that they're under pressure, it's a very dangerous time for the Prime Minister. And there is so much that is dependent upon what Mandelson, through the Chief of Staff, then has initiated, and the people who are now in positions as ministers that have been dependent upon that whole process.
Okay.
That means this is not just one man at the top. But you're talking about an aristocracy within the party.
There was already enough heat on Starmer after a cache of documents released last week exposed how Mandelson had tipped off his billionaire buddy about a €500 billion currency bailout during his tenure as business secretary. Things have gotten even worse now though, and there were audible gasps in the House of Commons yesterday when the Prime Minister disclosed that the vetting procedure relied solely on hoping that someone who had twice been removed from government for lying in the past was in fact telling the truth about themselves.
Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear. Prime Minister?
Yes, it did.
In the past 48 hours, Starmer has moved light years away from how he spoke about Mandelson at the time he appointed him.
To us, he's just Peter.
And currently only refers to him by his surname. At the same time, every politician who tried to cosy up to the former ambassador is rifling through their social media and desperately trying to delete any pictures they've appeared in with him, as well as historic posts showing messages of support for the fork-tongued, sordid island tourist. It's an all-out scramble to disassociate from within Labour's neoliberal ranks at the moment, and commentators from all over the political spectrum, including this one, say that this looks like it could be the final straw for the Prime Minister, would be far from shocked to see Starmer soon throwing as many colleagues under the bus as possible in order to save his own skin, including Morgan McSweeney, who had a decisive hand in Mandelson's initial appointments, but with hardly anybody currently willing to stand behind Keith and echo his desperate plea of plausible deniability, this is looking like it won't be enough, and that the Grim Reaper might be reaching his hand out towards the PM's premiership as we speak.
Damn right!
Steve Reed found himself all out of answers on a GMB appearance, to the extent that even the pound shop Alan Partridge, that is Richard Madeley, was able to patronisingly put him back to rights, and Reed could only respond by denying that the admission from Starmer yesterday actually happened.
What the Prime Minister was already aware of before the vetting process was undergone, the failed vetting process, before that, so we can't talk about hindsight, he was aware that Mandelson had had a close relationship with a convicted paedophile financier. He knew that. That wasn't hindsight. He knew that, and he disregarded that information when he made the appointment.
That is not true. That is not true. Categorically, that is not true.
Steve's differently spelled namesake, Susanna, also had him on the ropes when historic evidence of Keir Starmer directly receiving the correct information from the FT was put to him. His only response was to try and convince us that Labour's vetting process is probably about as thorough as, well, this.
What is your favourite colour? Blue. Right, off you go.
I am really confused by what you're saying. I know you're confused by our questions, but I am confused about what you're telling us, because the Financial Times had reported in 2023 about the relationship between Lord Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein. And that reporter told Sir Keir Starmer that at a press conference in 2024. But you're saying it was new information. It wasn't. It was in the public domain.
What I'm saying, Susanna, is the vetting process. Peter Mandelson lied and said that his relationship with Epstein had ended long ago and had been next to nothing in any case. The vetting process did not show that that was a lie, and so Mandelson was appointed.
So can I just
now, that vetting process, we clearly need to look at the...
So despite the fact it was reported, it was put to Keir Starmer, and it was a matter of public record, the vetting process.
Susanna, lots of things are reported and are not true.
So instead of that all being a matter of public record, the vetting process was simply to ask Lord Mandelson if it was true, and rely on Lord Mandelson saying it wasn't true.
No, it wasn't that.
Well, that's what you seem to suggest.
That is not what it was.
So how else did you bottom out what this story was?
Well, I just said, didn't I? Did you hear me say? I said the security forces were involved in vetting as well, and that threw up nothing of additional concern.
I find that rather difficult to believe.
Many others find that difficult to believe as well. Calls for a new leadership from within Labour are now in full force. How much longer Keir Starmer might have is uncertain, but we do know one thing: in appointing Mandelson, despite warnings at the time, he's either shown himself to be thoroughly incompetent, or instead, and more likely, that he doesn't really care about Epstein's many victims and was willing to gamble his career on a slithering liability. So he took the risk, and he lost. And I don't know about you people, but I don't think that an amount of school breakfast clubs that you can count on one hand will provide an effective counterance to the internal outrage that has now clearly begun. With Starmer now at his very weakest and surrounded by more careerists than you can shake a stick at, it's likely only a matter of time before a resignation or a decisive leadership challenge comes to pass. So, how long do you think Keith has left, and what else do you make of yesterday's revelations? Let us know in the comments below. As always, your feedback's very welcome. Thanks a lot for watching to the end of the video. If you'd like to help the channel out a bit more, then please check out some of our other content and hit various supportive buttons such as like and subscribe. Super thanks are also open, and there's a link to our Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of this video. If you want to go a step further, then hit the join button, and for only 99p you can enjoy exclusive perks like members only videos and early viewings, plus lots more, and you get to join the list of awesome people that you can see on your screen right now. As always, your contributions are much appreciated. Thanks again people, my left eye will be seeing you soon.